guys. Welcome to our second episode. This is Free Press Fail. I'm Steph.
I'm Corinne.
And we are excited because we have to refilm this entire thing because we filmed yesterday. And unfortunately, our opponents participated in Russian collusion and insisted on deleting our video. It was no technical error of our own. It was definitely opponents participating in Russian collusion.
And now that you've said that, I'm going to cite that as a source for all of the times that I'm going to say it's Russian collusion.
Sources say.
Sources have said that it's Russian collusion.
Collusion.
Not that Corinne took 8,000 selfies the same night and her phone probably deleted the video for extra storage.
Issue. But yesterday we had the great privilege of drinking Trump Blanc de Blanc. Yesterday was Champagne Wednesday, and Champagne Wednesday is a holiday that I celebrate every Wednesday, which is just me weekday drinking, which is either self-care or functioning alcoholism.
And now that we're drinking for our Champagne Thursday, I think it leans one way more than the other. But like we don't have to. It's
closer to the weekend though. So anyway, we had to just go to Costco though and get
whatever this is,
Lunetta. So that's what we're drinking now. But it was supposed to be Trump Blanc de Blanc.
And we finished that bottle last night. I have to say, good reviews.
It was very good.
Nothing bad to say about that.
Nothing bad. He only the best from Donald J. Trump.
Yep.
But let's get into it. Cheers.
Yes. So starting with the top news.
Yes. Trudeau.
Yes.
And Blackface, guys.
Last week, like right after we filmed our episode, seriously, like the next morning while I was posting it, it breaks that Trudeau caught doing blackface.
Full blackface.
Actually, and also black neck, which has not been talked about enough.
It was like full coverage.
It's a full coverage treatment of face darkening makeup, as they said on the Daily Beast.
Oh my gosh, so the media, Daily Beast specifically, but like several other sources, would not call it blackface. They kept calling it like skin darkening, like dark makeup, brown makeup, and like
questionable makeup, like anything to avoid calling it dark face. Or blackface. They did that. They called it dark face. They did do that.
Yeah, but not blackface. If it was a conservative, it would have been blackface.
No, but of course, like it's a liberal and a feminist, of course, infallible. So he comes out, he gives his little speech. We all need to reflect upon our own like internal racism. Even if we haven't worn blackface, I think we need to reflect also.
Yeah, I mean, the man was literally wearing a turban when he was in blackface, but he has the audacity to tell us we have to reflect.
Yeah, it was a very un-PC Aladdin costume or something, but
he also said he couldn't remember how many times he'd worn blackface in history.
And it is both embarrassing, but also not worth mentioning.
It's very embarrassing, but also, like, not a big deal. No big deal,
guys. I have
like
not heard anything about this in the media today, and that is because Justin Trudeau is so liberal.
They got over it so fast. I've never seen the media get over it.
If this was a Republican, it would be a bigger story than impeachment right now, but it's not.
It was just so funny. He's like, I have no idea how often I've done blackface. The man is 30. He's not like 40. Oh my gosh.
Well, he might be 40.
He's maybe 40. He's not like 80. It wasn't like in the 40s. It's not like a different time. Not that that would ever be an excuse for our conservative, but it wasn't like a different time. He's like our age.
Yeah.
And I know how many times I've done blackface. It is 0 times.
Yeah. She had a bad spray tan once, and we can all remember it. Doesn't count as blackface.
True.
Exactly. But we're still...
And the turban I wore was for palm reading, which I feel like is different.
Yeah.
So it was...
But you can
it's one time.
You can name it.
It's not... And it wasn't. It was spray tan gone awry. Trudeau.
Anyway, Trudouche.
Oh, that's what we call him in private.
And public.
All the time. That's what we call him. Trudouche. Not good.
No.
Not good.
No. Second big story of the week or last week, it's just all blending together. Greta Thunberg, or Thunberg, not sure how you pronounce it, addressed the UN. She's this 16-year-old Swedish girl.
The expert in science.
Yes, very concerned with the future. I actually felt very bad for her.
Me too.
She was very emotional. I feel bad because I'm old and everything makes me cry. So I don't like to see teenagers crying at all.
So this girl is a 16-year-old. Well, actually, she's Swedish. Yesterday, I figured out she was not American because I actually thought that the only opinions that anyone would care about are obviously Americans. But apparently the UN invited this Swedish girl.
You know they're not American opinions if the UN cared about them.
That's true. The only thing they care about from America is our money. But she gets invited to speak and address the UN about climate change. That's who this girl is. Her name's Greta Thunberg. And she just was very upset.
No, I feel bad for her. She was like, she's just such a product of like liberal indoctrination that all she did, and like, again, I'm not criticizing her, she's a child, but she just yelled at a room full of adults and said like that her childhood is doomed and that her whole future is like not bright because of climate change. Not once did she say that there's anything that we could actually do to fix this. It was just like a lot of being angry with everyone else, which is like such a liberal tactic, and it's not a really good way to move forward. It's not a good way for teenagers to be thinking. Like, this should be the most innovative, like imaginative time of her life, and she's like just crying in front of us.
Well, I mean, she actually has a really cool braid that she wears, like around her shoulder. And back when I thought she was an American, I was very impressed with this because I thought it was like a pretty cool reference to Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. And I was like, Greta girl, even though I don't agree with you and your choices necessarily on your politics, that braid reference, that's hella dope.
Do love Katniss.
But then I do. But it turns out she's Swedish, and actually I just think Swedish people are very into braids. Like, we've all seen like the Cocoa mix. Is Swedish and Swiss the same? It's close enough. It's vaguely European.
Yes, her imagery is like very similar to Nazi youth.
Yeah, very.
Not particularly flattering, but Katniss is a better one too.
Yeah, that's what. Well, now that I don't think it's that, I'm a lot less interested in her story, to be completely honest.
Yeah, Greta needs to call us. Like, we have a lot of advice.
That's true.
She's a young girl, and we're
couple old ladies drinking on a weeknight.
Yeah, it's Champagne Thursday. Greta, give us a call. We've got some advice.
Call. We got you. We got you.
Big brother, big sister program thing. We've got it figured out over here.
And we actually have a special treat for you because I actually still get physical mail sometimes. And I read a Time magazine article, the cover story. It's very serious. Apparently, guys, vaping is a public health crisis. It's a crisis. I was deeply concerned. I'm not a vapor, but that it's a crisis, I'm thinking, is it contagious? Can one catch vape? And so I read the article. I need more information, and I dig in, and the statistics will alarm you. Did you know that vaping has taken the life of 6 people ever?
6. It's this many fingers.
This many.
Yeah.
I was saying this many.
That's only 5.
That's
this is
5.
6.
This is.
But it's not that many people.
I personally am terrified, and I just feel like we need to vaccinate. We need to be prepared, and safety is the only thing that matters. No, but seriously, I don't know who has it out for Jewel. But I mean, oh my God.
I can only imagine who does. But the anti-vape propaganda is so strong. Again, I'm not a vapor either because I had real parents who really like the fear of God about nicotine. Since
Millennials don't smoke.
No, I don't. Well, I mean, they vape apparently. But
not really. I think it's the Gen Zers.
I just know that I never thought about smoking or vaping because I knew my mom was going to probably kill me about it. And even now that I'm almost 30, I think she still might kill me about it. So I just don't do it. And that's actually why I don't do a lot of things. But I saw an article that was like, vaping kills a puppy. Literally, they're taking this propaganda so far that they actually use the headline that vaping kills a puppy. Which is like, I would not even use, that's a joke. I would use it as a joke. It's like, my opponent wants to kill puppies. But like, literally, whoever's against vaping, I'm sure it's like not big tobacco.
But Corinne, there's almost as many Juul specifically, according to this article, vaping deaths as there are vending machine deaths.
What's a vending machine death?
37. And I just think that we
cannot
be so flip. People are dying.
Yeah, 6 people have died. 6 douchebags vaping have died.
God, one less of them.
One less. Of them. Not sad. Anyway.
And they probably donated their fedora to science, so it's probably fine. All right, our final one is the most important one, the one you've all been waiting for. Impeachment. It's impeachment 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Huge story.
Huge.
Huge.
Bigly.
Yeah, so the I think it was Washington Post broke the story of a whistleblower over the weekend saying that Trump had an inappropriate call. There was like some implication of Joe Biden, very, very vague. I don't actually watch the news on weekends. That's like my one free break where I just like free my boyfriend from Fox News and I don't make him watch and I just like take a break. And then on Monday morning, I like jump back into the Twitterverse and like right back into the Fox News and try to get the story. It took me like all of Monday to grasp the concept of this narrative. And then I figured out, okay, so it's Joe and Hunter Biden had a very a very weird relationship with Ukraine, but it's Trump's fault and Trump had a call and that's an impeachable
this story
offense.
Is crazy because so we both live in DC, we both are in the industry, we were seeking information on this story. And it took us days, like an entire day, and still we're fuzzy on figuring out even what the story was, which is funny because the New York Times, my favorite, precious, the New York Times ran this article that was like, this is a quote, in contrast to the murkiness of the special counsel report on Russian interference in 2016 election and possible obstruction of justice by Mr. Trump, Democrats see the current allegations as damningly clear-cut. Damningly clear-cut. What's fun about that is that, first of all, there are no allegations. There is an allegation, one. Second of all, a year ago, at least not even a year ago, the New York Times did not seem to think that the Mueller report was at all murky. I think they were very clear that they thought that there was
the Mueller report was supposed to be our impeachment.
But now they're like, no,
now
that was
this.
murky. This is super clear. It's obvious that he should be impeached. You should be impeached. He should be impeached. Kavanaugh's impeached. We're all getting impeached. It's peach season up in here, y'all.
Yeah.
It's like Georgia.
Apparently. But it is ridiculous, and the Democrats could not wait even for the call transcript to be released before they launched their official impeachment inquiry, which means nothing. It's like...
What is an official inquiry? Like,
it means nothing. They have to actually file articles. It's like not even... You know how they say, like, you can indict a ham sandwich? This is like before indicting a ham sandwich, you convene a jury, and that's basically what they're doing now.
I like to indict a ham sandwich.
I mean...
I'm actually more of a turkey fan, if we're going to get into it. But,
salami and cheese is my favorite.
You know. Nancy Pelosi's hilarious, though. She actually has mad respect for Nancy. She knows what she's doing. She can fundraise like no one's business. She knows how to manipulate the politics. I respect her. Don't understand this game. I feel like she may be caving to a little
I think
pressure.
there's a lot of pressure in this, and because it is so inconsequential to just have an impeachment inquiry.
Well, it's not inconsequential because I think they could really lose seats over it. But she was saying, she goes, okay, committee chairman, whoever has the best case for impeachment will choose. She says, everyone give your case to the judiciary chair and we'll pick the best one. So the New York Times, the leader of free press, guys. The New York Times journalists think that is clear-cut, damning evidence. And I'll call for whatever you can possibly find.
I mean, honestly, I think it's at least as damning as anything else they've had against Trump. So, good luck, guys. I hope that you're happy with your contribution to the 2020 election. And I really can't be mad about it. This is only going to help Trump win again, and I think it's going to help a lot of House Republicans win in districts that maybe they lost seats last time. So we'll watch it play out, but it's been fun for us.
It's a blast and a half. I always like seeing the intel and
I know RNC immediately raised $5 million off of it, so I hope that everyone thinks that it's worth it.
We can indict a lot of ham sandwiches.
Turkey sandwiches too.
Turkey sandwiches
all of the sandwiches up for indictment.
With $5 million, all of them for $5 million.
So, that's, I think, it for top news.
Oh, I would just like to say, though, before we move on, that the president of the Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky,
hottie.
That is an attractive
Major
man.
league. A hottie bigly.
Bigly. That's a tall drink of water. Well, he's maybe a short drink of water.
Medium.
I actually can't really tell because he sits usually.
Yeah.
But what an attractive
He looks like
scandal.
a hot soap villain, and I am into it.
He does. He looks like that villain that shows up in the soap, and he's like, I'm going to kidnap you. And the lady's like, oh my gosh, but don't.
She's a little into it.
Don't. But she loves it.
And they have a baby.
They do. Then they have an evil baby when they come back. That's Zelensky. And if he's married, I'm not sorry. Mad respect to Mrs. Zelensky. Good for you, honey. But if he's not, I could totally be the queen of Ukraine.
Yeah, the queen. Yeah. Make her the queen.
They're like a democracy or whatever now, but...
Steph wears a crown. They call her whatever she wants.
They're going to do what I say. We know it.
Yeah. All right, so on to, like, fake news.
So that's been top stories. Yes. And we're going to move on to SJWs and virtue signaling ridiculousness / fake news cover-ups. It's sort of our, like, zany little section.
A little less serious.
Less serious.
So this is actually a friend of mine sent me this great conspiracy theory because over the weekend there were both the huge climate strike protests and the Area 51 raid. And she sends me this hilarious message that, her name is Shelby. She sends me this hilarious message that was like, I think it's funny that the Area 51 raid has been planned for literally months. And then the day of the raid, we just like, there's this girl showing up in braids talking about climate change. And no one's talking about
Greta!
The Area 51 raid anymore. And I was like, oh my God, good point. It's because Deep State does not want us to see those aliens.
For clarity, the Area 51 raid was the concept that, of course, they can't stop us all, guys. Can't stop us all. But nobody showed up, allegedly, because they're all off protesting climate change. And it's like, Greta, honey, so maybe the climate will kill us all. And but what if aliens are going to kill us all? We're not prepared now.
Yeah, none of the reporters that should have been covering the raid, which would have been obviously groundbreaking, and maybe some aliens were there. They did not cover that because they were at the climate change protest watching a bunch of people litter and stop traffic all over busy cities of the United States. So I think it's a great conspiracy theory. I haven't heard a great one in a while, so I had to give it a shout out. I mean, prove me wrong.
How many people got abducted that day?
Maybe a lot.
We'll never know.
We'll never know. We'll never
know.
Thanks, Greta.
Thanks a lot, Greta.
Yeah. And then next, the Emmys.
The Emmys were this weekend. The Emmys are my favorite little thing.
I never watch.
Well, I enjoy self-congratulation quite a bit. I write affirmations on the mirror. Mostly like, your mom loves you. It's my main one.
It's true, she does, though.
But, sometimes. But it's my favorite. Award season is great for celebrities because it's their most comfortable, natural habitat. Because they all get in a room and they put on gowns worth thousands of dollars, and then they all preach social justice and socialism and progressive values while handing each other fellow billionaires statues made of gold. And not for acts of heroism, not for coal mining, not for animal saving even, for acting in things, and not even movies, which...
Not even movies,
Not even movies. Now, there's tons of fake news that always comes out of these, but I actually would like to point out an unexpected hero, which is the beautiful and talented Sarah Silverman.
And this is actually why I don't watch. I hate when Sarah Silverman becomes the hero. I don't
she
like
is
to
the
watch
voice
when
of
that.
reason.
I don't like to watch anything where Sarah Silverman becomes the voice of reason, this is why I boycott the Emmys. Also enemies, boycott those. And the Oscars and all of those. I think there are other ones, but I've stopped watching them entirely.
Okay, I never boycott anything that has a nice dress for me to critique, so first of all. But Sarah Silverman, she is technically a Disney princess. You can look it up. She has cheekbones of a goddess, beautiful long black hair. Sarah Silverman. She said, this is not a direct quote, but something... Well, she was actually, let me give you some context. She was on the red carpet and she was being asked about Shane Gillis, which is the perfect time for us to correct ourselves from last week. We did not forget Shane's name, the SNL comedian who was fired for his allegedly racist stand-up from before. His name is Shane Gillis. I said Shane. Shout out Shane.
Shane's a good guess.
It was there in my old noggin, in the subconscious. So anyway, she gets asked about him, and she says something along the lines of, progressives are supposed to want people to change for good. But what's happening now is that, quote-unquote, progressives want people to be wrong so that they can feel right. And that's just righteousness porn. And righteousness porn is the direct quote. And I just loved that.
No, I think that's true.
I loved that concept. But like, look, I'm not a progressive. I'm never going to be. But like, the whole point, right, is that you're supposed to want people to progress. But now it's just
the cancel culture is ruining everything.
Cancel culture, right.
And I'm super happy that there are a couple libs that are agreeing with conservatives on that. It's nice to see. So hopefully... They're eating each other alive on this because no one likes cancel culture. As we said last week, it is not fun, and it's not fun for anyone.
So thanks, Sarah. Team Sarah. Love it.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our favorite Trump moment or tweet of this week.
Yeah, I think we all share this. Well, Steph and I share this.
Well, that's all that matters. That's all.
With one of our followers who submitted his favorite moment was also the same thing. His name is Rob.
Hey, Rob.
Shout out, Rob.
Thanks.
Our favorite moment was when Trump tweeted about Greta Thunberg, whatever her name is. Right after her speech, he said, let me read it. He quote tweeted her UN speech and said, "She seems like a very happy young girl, looking forward to a bright and wonderful future. So nice to see."
So nice. So nice.
I thought it was great because it actually, nobody could cover that in a way that covered Greta well. Because if they're like, Trump is mocking her, it's like, why? You don't think she's well adjusted and looking forward to a bright future? Like, what are you saying here? So this is like a classic Mean Girl.
Oh my gosh, they all flipped out. They were like, you can't mock her. And it's like
yeah, we
mocking
can.
her. I thought that she does have a bright future. Plus, Greta loved it. I think that she MAGAs actually because she took the tweet and she put it as her Twitter bio.
That's true. She did do that. That's her. I think it's her Twitter bio too today, and it's been 2 days since I checked that, so you can call me on it.
Friendships are born, you guys. Greta CAG, call us. You're with it.
Yeah, we'll be your best like big sisters / MAGA Trump trained people.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost old enough to be your mother. So
Choo.
Speaking of her parents, I mean, they've done a great job with the whole stage momming of this situation.
Yeah, so
is dance mom still a thing?
They could
totally get on that.
I've seen like several pictures. I don't think that Greta's parents could get on Dance Moms or like a lot of other reality TV shows.
This is almost as good.
This makes sense. Yeah, it's almost as good. I mean,
I've never been invited to the UN. When I was 16, I was too busy eating animal crackers and not getting asked to prom.
Yeah, I'm just like really happy that my live journal was private when I was 16, but I don't know how much a UN speech pays. Like college tuition is very expensive. It is. So hopefully it helps out.
I think this concludes our Greta love. We're clearly obsessed with her, and I don't mind admitting it. But
Shout out Greta.
As we conclude, I just want to say, for you, Greta. You nailed that. That's the Hunger Games.
I haven't whistled in so long. Not since I got my new lips.
It's so much harder when you're old.
It is.
Whistle while you're young, kids.
Yeah, try it.
All right. And I think we're on to our final segment, which is our favorite stuff from the campaign trail.
Yeah. So you want to go first with your favorite?
Oh, yeah. We have a shared favorite again. And it is the Democrats with their gun safety video.
Oh, yeah. So all of the Democrat candidates came together.
They came together on this important issue.
I think on Monday they released a video that was like #gun safety president. And they all had their like little, 20-second, not even 20-second, like probably 6-second soundbite in this montage of their like gun control things. So like, we stand for people, not for corporations. The NRA hates America. Like,
the NRA is a member organization made up of individuals, not corporations or businesses.
They all made that very clear that they did not understand when they tweeted this video. And Kamala, I saw it because Kamala tweeted it. And she tweeted it out with the text that said, the NRA has bought Trump, but we will not be bought, or something like that. And I retweeted it like, what the F is this? And one of my followers goes, that's so ridiculous. The NRA couldn't buy Trump. Trump could buy the NRA. And I was like, that is so true and so funny. It's like the benefit of having a gajillionaire president is that you don't really have to worry about a member organization donating their like $5,700 limit. And Trump's like, $5,700, I'm sold. He's not going to be like all over it. I just thought it was funny. I thought it was weak. I don't understand the attack. I don't think it's a good messaging for the Dems to be after a member organization like the NRA. But they're really into that. So if that's where you guys want to go.
But you know what? They gave it a shot.
In the dark. So
nailed it.
Great.
Nailed it.
You did it.
I did it. I did it. I'm very proud of myself.
And I think that's all we've got.
That was the week, guys.
Yeah, so
that was it.
As always, send us your favorite stories. We actually used a lot of stuff in this week's episode, ×2 now because we recorded this twice. So send us your favorites and your favorite fake news, and we'll definitely incorporate it. We love hearing from you.
See you next time.